Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get to the main thing today. Come on, capture the aim. There we go. Welcome everybody. My name is Bertimus. So my webcam is down today. I'm actually streaming from the house because I have to run off to go set up a gaming convention this afternoon. So I will be... It might be a little bit more of an abbreviated stream today because I'll probably have to take off about 3 o'clock Central today. But for then, we're going to at least play some Tekken 8 Ranked. So for those that haven't met me before, again, my name is Bertimus. I've been fundraising for Children's Health Foundation here in Oklahoma City for about 14 years now. I've been working for them for the last 2, trying to spread extra life in Oklahoma and raise more money to the kids through streaming. So let's see if I capture... I do have a mouse here. So... if you look at the mouse, yay, mouse on the screen, you got a QR code right down here, just below. If you scan that with your phone, it'll take you to our Extra Life page. And that'll kind of give you more of an idea of what Extra Life is, as well as allow you to support the kids. So our fundraising primarily focuses on medical research, medical equipment, and charitable care, which means we have doctors that we build endowments for, so that way we can bring the best of the best here in Oklahoma City to treat our kids. So that way every kid that walks into, Children's Hospital or any of our other supported children's health care facilities can get the best care they can. The ideal, and this year we actually have a champion child that gets to represent that, but the ideal is that when a child goes into the hospital, especially for something serious or several ailments at the same time, that they don't ever have to leave the state of Oklahoma in order to receive all their care. So that is why I'm doing this fundraising. I've had several family members close to me that have gone through the children's healthcare system. I mean, from anything from Crohn's disease, cystic fibrosis, you name it. But it's our job to make sure those kids get the best and longest life possible. So thank you for everybody that does either participate at Extra Life or support Extra Life, whether it be through me or through it be another Extra Lifer that is local to you or supports your local hospital or foundation. Again, if you would like to give and you'd like to support these causes, there is a QR code just right over here where my mouse is wiggling. Just right below there, please scan that with your phone, or you can visit us at www.extra-life.org and look us up for Children's Health Foundation. There's several of us fundraising it, as well as I also have a foundation page where we're fundraising directly through there. So without further ado, thank you for tuning in. Let's get to some matches. So we're going to dive directly into ranked without any kind of warm-up because that's what you do. It's just more fun that way. I'm a Xiao Yu player. I have done the combo trials for all of the other characters, but I've been playing Xiao Yu since Tekken 3. I'm not going to say I'm a pro, as you can evidence by my ranked on the main screen. I am still trying to get the basics down. I have a bad habit in fighting games of just trying to take my turn when it's not my turn. Let's see if it's still set to punish. Okay, good. So yeah, we're just going to be sitting here grinding through ranked until we get to better ranks. I have made it as high as Garyu, which is, what is that, about 9th rank, 13th rank, somewhere in there. My goal is to at least get to Tekken King, which I believe is 16th rank, and go from there. Because the more I play, the better I get, the more competitive I can be. We do a lot of esports stuff around Oklahoma City, and it is my ideal to be able to not only host them, but play in them. May have to restart that stream. Well, I'm trying to figure out why it's so choppy on the stream. Hopefully it's a little bit better on your side. Lily's lows, man. They make you want to keep ducking, and then she comes at you with a mid. I haven't gotten to play against a bunch of lilies, so this is good practice for me. There we go. Not bad for a warm-up round. We'll see if she comes back in for another round. In Tekken, it's always good manners to always do best of 3. So you always go until somebody has at least gotten 2 wins. You know, it's cool if you got an emergency or the kids running around, you got to go wrangle them. Everybody understands. But again, the whole goal is to make sure everybody has a good enough time to both learn the character matchups and get better. Too slow. Yep. Too slow. This Lily, however, does not know how to block. Eventually, I will get that. Golly. Never do that. There we go. So many lows coming in. I can make that trade. No biggie. They're just coming at me too strong. Yep, just not blocking at all. Didn't realize I was ducking on that one. Nice. I kept expecting a low, so I kept ducking and getting hit. So the way Tekken works is there's a block. Nice. If you're blocking low like that, anything that comes in at a mid will break the block. Yeah, and see, this is why Lily doesn't block. Because it's obvious that she's very much used to everything coming in whenever she wants it. That she can just push buttons as much as she wants. And since she has so much high-low mix, a lot of people aren't used to blocking and punishing her. But at least she has blocked a couple of times, so I'll give her credit there. You need to remember to launch that. There we go. See if she comes at me with that low mid strike. I want so badly to start integrating Cali roll because Xiao Yu has a nice roll move, right? And I would like to integrate it more, but the problem with my rank is a lot of people aren't willing to stop whenever the turn is made. So like if you hit, and it's called being plus and minus. So each frame or each attack has a certain amount of frames to put out and then recover from. So if somebody can put a button in and hit you between them blocking your attack and then you returning to normal, that's called being minus. And this is very simplified. But essentially it's Xiao Yu has a lot of fake out moves, and so you need to be able to keep the pressure on them for them to feel like they always need to be blocking in order for you to use those moves. And where I'm at, the second you get blocked, their attack is coming next. It's just the way it works. Everybody wants to get their buttons in first. Nobody's going to sit there and wait. I'm very, very guilty of this. Like, for instance, that little hand fan move that I keep doing that keeps launching them up. That is a very unsafe move, is what they call it, essentially, when somebody can definitely get an attack in on you. And so if I keep doing that, if they ever block it, I'm going to get hit and take a lot of damage. And there's a lot of gameplay when it comes to Tekken 2, like when it comes to getting up. Because you can just stand up, or you can do that spring kick like I was doing there. Which actually launches an attack back at them if you know they're going to become very, aggressive and come after you. And then any low attack that kind of comes from the shins lower, you have to be ducking to block. But again, if you're ducking like that and somebody comes in with a mid move like that comes pretty much right in middle waistline, it's going to hit you out of that block. But there are also stuffs like these jabs right here are called highs, which means you can duck under them. Oh, okay, so that's too slow. Most people in Tekken 2 don't duck very often just because getting hit from those mids is painful. Because most launchers, stuff that pick you up off the ground and allow you to start doing those juggle combos, come at the mid range. So it's kind of dangerous to duck unless you know that low is coming. Or you know that they're going to be like, for instance, every time I pull off a block, I always end up starting with those jabs. I very rarely use anything that actually comes in at mid level because a lot of my mids are kind of slow. Because, again, I like doing damage. And there we go. So I spring kicked, and they saw it coming. Ooh, no punish on that. There we go. Shouldn't have hit a button so fast. He did come over the top of me because Xiaoyu has a lot of stances that are very low, like that. And they go under a lot of attacks, including some mid-range attacks, which a lot of people aren't a big fan of. Ooh, good block. He's playing fundamentals. Not unsafe. That one is. He's fast enough to block those snake edges, so. That's not the way that works. For whatever reason, his color palette is messing with me on trying to watch that hell sweep happen, which is what that's called. So he'll do basically this jumping spin kick, and he'll have another 1 to 2 that come in at the low level. But it always has to at least do one high, one low. Nice. Missed his electric, though. Shouldn't have hit a button so fast. Dang it. Kept trying to push button too fast. Too slow on that one. Wow, surprised that one hit. Straight into it. He's just trying to rush it out. Hey, he's going to be too low. Barely snuck that one out. I say he played a lot better fundamentals. He blocked a lot. He missed a lot of punishes, which would have given him that match.
Get ready for the next battle.
So Reina, one of the new characters for Tekken 8, is very, very aggressive. She just gets to put a whole bunch of buttons out in front of you. Oh, she's got good advancing on that launcher. Good job. I don't get to play many Reynas, so I'm not used to all of her attack patterns yet. A lot of that was unsafe that we just did back and forth. We just always had the wrong punishes in front of each other. Finally got a roll in there. Now, unfortunately, I have not practiced that launch hardly at all, so... So that was a parry is what that was, and that was by accident. I was actually trying to drop into my stance, but I've got another one that's down back instead of just down. That essentially parries any kind of punch that comes in like that. And it'll flip me around behind them and then put me back into the stance that the button actually goes into. Oh, nice low parry. So low parries, essentially if you see a low attack coming in, you can hold down forward, and what you'll do is you'll knock them up. Ooh. I don't know if I short that flip, I can at least get a little bit more out of it. Not my turn. Ah, quit hitting buttons. There's always that little flip kick. Yeah, that button's way too slow being in hugging range. Way too late on that one. Dang it, I hit every time. For some reason, I still was like, that cartwheel's not safe. I can take it. Nope. That's unfortunate. That would have been level up back into red. Sorry, at least this is a good Reyna experience. They don't play too aggressive, a little bit aggressive. They're doing a lot of unsafe stuff. And that is one of the slowest sweeps, that down forward 3, where I sit there and kind of do that long kind of leg kick out. It's incredibly unsafe to do, and typically you only do it after you have them kind of flustered. And that's a counter buckle, so essentially Or it's crumple. If they hit you while you're pushing a button and trying to attack them, man. I would like to disagree to that. But yeah, whenever they hit you while you're putting a button with any kind of like crumple move, it'll actually like gut punch you, and you have to sit there and take a launcher pretty much. There it is. Good counter. I always kind of run up and grab, so that's not all that surprising. Woo! Almost rank up.
Round one. Fight.
A lot of big damage with a couple of big moves.
Fight.
Ah, I didn't think she'd be using a rage burst. Not the button to hit, but okay. Oh, got the wrong grab on that one. I figured I'd be able to trade a decent button out there. Quit whiffing against Raina. She's got a really good approach. Launch. I mean, luckily it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Well, I say that. Golly. Just got pushed too close to the wall. Goodness. I just kind of lost out on that one. I kept hitting buttons the second she started her pressure. I should have just been calm, taking the block, because she always comes in high to mid. She rarely comes in low. And then just reacted. Because you can duck like that with stance, or you can, typically you can get out of the way with just a sidestep.
Get ready for the next battle.
Now, Lars is a very, very fast, high action character, so this should be interesting. I run into a lot of problems with Lars because he's got this little... I need to learn his strings a little bit better so that way I know when he's going into that little charge move of his, like right there, because then you can launch it. Even if you're getting hit, you just have to know when it's coming, and then you can push your button and get it out of the way. Tried to push it at the wrong time. And he's got two options on it. He can either go high or go low. Or excuse me, go middle or go low, which can be a real big problem. He's just super high offense, and so you have to kind of figure out when the right time to attack is. And I don't get to play against him all that often, which means I'm not used to him. Once I get more practice against him, I'll be able to see, okay, he's using those two punches, this next attack is coming up. He's going to be dashing out of it, which means I can launch him. You just have to learn that looks like there's gaps, but there's a lot of recovery when he hits you, even if you're blocking. So you have to know, okay, you need to go ahead and block the next one coming in because you're not going to be able to get even a really fast jab out. Okay, well, he knows Ling well enough that I come in into AOP on that one. He went low twice that time. Because last time he's been low and then coming in mid, because if you're ducking when he comes in mid, it breaks the block. All right. We got one on the board at least. And lows beat armor moves, which is what that is. So anytime somebody gets that like gassy smoke around them, that's an armored move. Only lows and throws break it.
Get ready for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle.
Victor, he's another one that can be a very, very aggressive person, but if you catch the right blocks at certain times, you're always going to have a response.
Round one. Fight.
That was the wrong button. Plays differently than most Victors I play against. God, tech roll. All right, so I've got to figure out how to get out of that crap. You may just have to like sit there and take it. Man, that's frustrating. That right there is bad manners. That's likely somebody that uses a lot of cheese, plays one game. If they win, they move on.
For the next battle.
We're going to hope that it's just the kids going nuts and they have to go do something important. That one's a single. May have just been an up 1-4, but or while rising 1-4. Just trying to get all my strings that I haven't been using. Because I need to learn to duck more when it's called for, and I need to be able to use a button that I need to use coming out of it. King, everybody should know about King. He is the premier grappler. Cool thing about Kings, they do not know how to block lows, and they don't know how to block throws. which means you hit them on their toes and you throw them a lot. Unfortunately, his armor move comes in it. Nope. Man. Another thing King can typically do is those alley kicks, which is that little leaning in kick, and he can normally string 3 or 4 of them together. And if he hits you with more than 2 of them, then it stutters you, kind of gives him a free option. The biggest thing I've kind of had to learn, especially with Xiao Yu, is keep varying the way you approach. Xiao Yu has so many different approaches, and not all of them are safe, mind you, but what it'll do is it'll keep them from always knowing which way you're coming in. So you've got to pretty much use a different button each time. That Shining Wizard, that's 1+2. That picks up from the ground. So you gotta be careful on that one. Oh, he does have a couple of crouching throws, which will pick you up while you're ducking, because normally you can duck to block or get out of throws. But he has crouching throws, so you have to kind of be careful of those, because they can catch you when you least expect it. Trying to think if that's I need to go back and watch these replays. I also need to learn to lay on the ground just a little longer. And if I miss that raccoon swing, that dashing big leg kick, I have got to learn to just get out of there. Oh, I thought I had a little bit more, or I thought he would be coming back a little bit faster on that. What a shame. I'm pretty sure the RKO is unblockable. Fair enough. I will say, though, over the last few days, I have been definitely getting a lot more matches that have been higher than lower. So most everybody I fought has at least been Garyu, which is that rank above me or higher.
Get ready for the next battle.
Aha, see, there's one 2 ranks below me. Now, it's still large, so we'll see what happens.
Round 1. Fight.
Thought I could duck that one. Not so much. Still can't block that or duck that one. And I don't have the reaction time for throws yet. I'm still learning them. You can actually tell how to break them because you've actually got your 2 punch buttons left and right. And it depends on which one of their arms are leading. Tells you which one to use to break it. And if they lead with both arms, you have to use both 1 and 2. I hate that sometimes my combo drops because there's no reason it should ever drop. Ever. That might be too slow. There we go. Whew, that was close. Now I'm doing something kind of silly because I'm actually doing a move. Like whenever I'm doing that short fall like that on purpose, a lot of people have a very slow reaction. And they're like, oh, what is he going to do when he gets out of that one? And if they hit me early enough, I can't do anything about it. But sometimes if they panic, I can get that back kick out. Yeah, I froze against throws. So yeah, they'll freak out and then they'll approach right after I land, which gives me time to get that back kick out, which launches. So I'll typically only do that if I'm far enough away, but sometimes I've gotten into the pattern of doing it when I shouldn't.
Round 1. Fight.
All right, he's gotten in the habit of throwing me like that. Now, with that big flying kick that I have, it leaves me, you know, like I was saying, plus and minus, it leaves me with a lot of extra room to work. Okay, so that's a low. That's still a low. And I didn't block the throw again. I'm too busy watching his midsection to pay attention to his arms. Yeah, it's death for me too. That's not going to do enough damage. So coming out of the lower ranks. And there's nothing that you did is wrong. But it's very frequent when you get low on life and pressured like that to immediately use your rage art. So once you're down to, what is it, less than 15% health, you get like a quick one button move that does, if you get a counter hit on it, does like 30% of their health. Squish. And so it's very, very frequent. The second you get in there, you want to throw it because most of the time, most people will get attack happy. It's still a 2 break. Got him that time. So in that one, he was trying to do an armor move. And whenever you grab an armored move, it's you can't break it. Or I should say, there's like a very, very small window to break it. It's like the second they hit you, you have to immediately break it. But I don't know if it's a counter throw like that. I don't know if you can actually break it or not. Let's get out of here, shall we? I'd rather have him at the wall. And I really need to start varying that move because I do that all the time. And when people start catching on to it, I'm going to be in serious trouble. Need a good middle move. Wrong button. Hey, he got the long-standing move that time. Man, those grabs. It's alright, I can do grabs too. And that's what I wanted to do. Bam! Oh, luckily I can typically get that kick on him almost every time. And that's where Lars will get you, because he'll just get you in the rushdown mix, and then you just don't know what to do in between it. Always plus on that grab there. That's toast. Good for him. I have to learn to find different punishes that aren't those 10 frame highs, because all that's doing is training people to duck on me, which isn't a bad thing, but most of the time everybody else wants to use that really quick button, and I can't get enough of goodness out of it for it to matter. What's the 29 frames around, man? As long as you know you can just punch out of it. Yikes. A Leo I haven't seen in a while. So Leo's a very similar character to Xiao Yu. They have a lot of stances. They've got a lot of wiggles, a lot of up and down, back and forth mix-ups. You just, at some point, you just have to learn to hold back and see what they're doing. Hit him in the toes. Not the button I hit, but okay. So many buttons coming out of that. You just get used to, like a lot of characters, you get used to whenever you block them, you get to do something in rebuttal. Some of them just, even though you're blocking, or even though they're blocking you. Nice hit. He's got a nice little jump kick too. Golly, that's a good mid. If I'd have just waited a half second, I'd have been able to hit him. And this comes up to character matchup knowledge. Like, I don't play Leo. I think this is like, since the game released, this is like the third one I've seen.
Round one. Fight.
Trains you to block low and then does the hop kick. Nice duck under. Man, just that little hesitation will nail you every time. Just wait and hit low. Train those toes. That drives me nuts having to deal with that every time. Too slow. I hit a button, so it made me get up while he was doing that attack string, which gave him that launch. Rule number 1 in Tekken. If the move works, keep using it. Teach them. Kind of like them. Every time they do that knee up and then the hop kick, I get caught by it. The low has a very slow telegraph to it. I can react to it. But if I try and push a button anywhere else, it doesn't work out well for me. God, I thought that wall was going to mess with me again. And I ducked the second he jumped. I disagree. I should have been able to get that low in there to bounce him up, but okay. Remember, there's a stance in there. Don't hit a button while that knee is up. We'll just break this floor real quick. He learned! Okay, so that does not work. That's a good follow-up, a good wait. Hey, finally broke it. Shouldn't have done the duck. God, quit countering high. How many times have I been launched because of that one? Hello, game. That looks like a hard freeze. Hold on.